What's the value of daily writing? That's the topic I'm addressing today in The Right Question. I'm Daphne Gray Grant, the publication coach, still in pandemic mode. I have a question from Monique LaSalle, a professor based in Montreal, Canada. Here's what she's asked by email. What do you say to students who think they can only write productively in long spurts of time? Many of my students believe that it's the only way they can write. How do you convince them of the value of daily writing? Thanks for your question, Monique. In my experience, students don't learn much if you just tell them something. You need to show them the value of what you're proposing. So, here's what I suggest you have your students do. Ask them to download the writing tracking form on my website. It's free. See link in the show notes below. Then, ask them to record their writing time and the number of words they produce every day for a week, allowing them to spend as much writing time as they want. After that, ask them to do the same record keeping for one more week, but this time instruct them to write for no more than 30 minutes per day. They should also devote an equal amount of time to researching and planning. After they've done this 2-week comparison, ask them to calculate which system allowed them to produce the most words, and ask them to consider which one made them feel better and more enthusiastic about writing. I'm certain that the vast majority of them will be more productive with a smaller amount of writing time, and there will be 5 reasons for this outcome. 1. They will be more efficient because their time is short. Have your students ever caught themselves sitting and staring at blank screens like zombies? They do this because they don't know what to write next. But if they have a time limit, they won't allow themselves to get stuck in this sticky wicket. Think about how breathtakingly efficient we all become just before going on holidays. We work quickly, we do only the most essential stuff. Your students will benefit from approaching writing with the same time-limited mindset. In fact, I think this is why so many students leave their essays until the night before they're due. They want to be forced to work quickly. 2. The short deadline will stop them from procrastinating. People don't procrastinate because they're lazy. They procrastinate because the job they have to do seems too big, too overwhelming, or too painful. By spending less time on the project each day, they're going to be making it a whole lot less intimidating. As a result, they're going to be less likely to procrastinate. 3. They won't run the risk of burning themselves out. While they may produce 1,000 words in one of their red-hot writing sessions, they'll quickly discover that they'll feel tired and worn out the next day, and maybe even the day after that. But if they were to write 200 words a day for a week, they'd have 1,000 words by Friday. 4. Writing for a short amount of time will appeal to their inner 2-year-olds. If your students hate writing, or even if they just feel ambivalent about it, having a time limit will make it seem so much more attractive. 5. They'll have time to do other things. If your students insist on spending 8 hours a day writing, they won't have time for exercise, listening to music, chatting with friends, all those things that make life worthwhile. Writing is a creative act, and to do it, we need to get energy from activities other than working. Finally, let me wrap up with a quote from the fantasy author Jane Yolen. Exercise the writing muscle every day. Writers are like dancers, like athletes. Without that exercise, the muscles seize up. Monique, it's hard to convince students of anything new, especially something that might feel counterintuitive to them. Try to do your persuading by helping your students figure out for themselves what's going to work best for them. Or maybe ask them to watch this video. If you'd like to learn more about how to make your writing a happier and more rewarding process, check out my latest book, Your Happy First Draft. It's not available in bookstores or in Amazon. The only place you can get it is my website. Link on the screen below and in the show notes.